Hello, this is another episode of Hashtag Save Our Streets TV. I am your host and founder of Hashtag Save Our Streets, William Rivas. And I am very, very, very thankful today to have this guest on our TV show today, Mr. Assemblyman Angelo Santabarbara. How you doing today?
Good. Great to be here, Will. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank
We've
you.
been talking about this for quite some time.
Yeah.
So hello everybody out there.
Well, a couple months ago, me and my wife, we had the opportunity to come on your show, the Assembly Update, and now we're returning the favor, and we're going to have you on our show today, which is very special because ever since kind of the beginning of Hashtag Save Our Streets, you have been one of the biggest supporters, and it's always something that I've been very, very thankful for, that you don't just show up for photo ops, you actually kind of take your suit jacket off and get engaged, which is what I find to be the best thing about you. So we're really, really thankful for this opportunity to have you here today.
Thanks, Will. It's great to be here, and I'm very proud to support grassroots community organizations just like this, Save Our Streets, because they're what's making a difference. It's helping me do my job. It's bringing the community together for a unified voice to fight for the things we believe in the state assembly. And I couldn't do it without the people I represent. And certainly you've done a great job, not just with this, but you've done a lot of things. You've been very active. So I was really excited to be on your show because, boy, it's great to see people out in the community, and this community is very active, and certainly you're a part of that. It's great to see people taking charge and fighting for what they believe in. So thank you for that, Will. It's great to be here today.
Well, and the good thing about it is what a lot of people don't know about Hashtag Save Our Streets is with this TV show, what we really wanted to create was a platform for our youth to not only be able to engage and have conversations, but to hear directly from the sources a lot of things that are going on across the state for them. As you see with some of our youth that are behind the scenes, they're learning the cameras, they learn to direct, they learn to write scripts. So it's a program and not just a TV show that at some point in the very near future, I'm going to absolutely turn over to them. So they're voting me off my island. So at some point you'll no longer have to see me. It'll be JJ or Jamel that'll be taking over. But now that we're here, one of the biggest things for me, and something I'm very grateful with you is a lot of people don't know, like, you're from the Schenectady area.
That's right.
So I think when it comes to you and why you have a passion for the things that you do, I think it's important for people who may not know, where you come from and how you got where you're at.
Yeah, what you said is exactly right. I was born and raised here in Schenectady. My parents were Italian immigrants. My father worked at General Electric. It was his first and only job. Worked there for 30 plus years. And I grew up in the Mount Pleasant neighborhood. Went to Hamilton School. And up to first grade, I remember I didn't speak a word of English until first grade because only Italian was spoken in the house. So the passion I have, and when I got to the state assembly, it surrounded public education, something we all agree is very important for all of our communities. And from my experience, I was the first in my family to be born here. Both of my parents were busy working a lot. I relied on my teachers to really get me through, to be able to help me get to the next level. And I remember every single one of my teachers in Hamilton. And I go back to that school a lot. I go back to that neighborhood a lot. And now to have this opportunity to represent this area where my family came to find a new home, it's really quite an honor. And when I say I have passion for things that matter, I know what it takes to build a strong community. And part of that certainly is public education. There's a lot more than that, but public education has been number one, fighting for our schools, and that's where organizations like this come in. That's why I just have tremendous respect for you, Will, and for what you've done here with Save Our Streets, because it is empowering the youth, and from that, we are hearing their experiences. We're not just hearing from adults, we're not just hearing from teachers, we're hearing from the students themselves about their educational experience. And there's been a lot of changes. You know this. There's been
Absolutely.
a lot of changes. In the 5 years I've been in office, we have seen a lot of changes in public education, and we're on the right track. We're getting that funding back where it belongs. It belongs towards building a brighter future for the youth. And we've got a long way to go, but we've made a lot of progress because this community is very active. Your voice is united on this front, and I can tell you up at the Capitol, when we fight for these things, a lot of the faces I see here, they're up there.
Yeah.
So they show up. So people from Schenectady, people from this area are showing up to tell people what they believe in, to tell people what they feel is important, and we're making progress. We're making it happen, and that's how change happens. So I'm very proud of this community. I'm very proud of the area I grew up in. Schenectady will always be my home. Mount Pleasant is near and dear to my heart. The city of Schenectady is near and dear to my heart. So yes, I do have passion for this area, and I know that together we have a very, very bright future. I'm so excited to see what we will accomplish next.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about, because whenever you're talking about a community like ours and something negative happens, it's always a lot of conversation around the negative or some of the bad things. But I think what people fail to realize is the energy that's really growing in Schenectady, that activity that you're talking about. There are a lot of grassroots organizations, shout out to the grassroots organizations, and a lot of community leaders that are really doing the work. Whenever there's an initiative or something going on, you know, the March for Education from Schenectady to Albany with the individuals from New York City. A lot of, you know, community fathers. You have the Miracle on Craig Street, you have Epic Inc., you have Boys Day Out, you have all these different grassroots organizations that are kind of growing, and this energy that is really moving. And a lot of it started with us all being youth that grew up in the area. So based on our experiences or wherever we came from or whatever our backgrounds were, like yourself, we've grown and had this passion, and now we're at a place where we're the ones that are here doing the work. So when you speak about that passion and we speak about empowering our youth, I thrive on the fact that our next great leader could come out of the youth that we assist from Schenectady. So,
and to that point, I think it will. And you mentioned community fathers, and in the words of Walter Simpson, he says this all the time. If you ever attended one of his events, he says it's the youth that's going to make it happen. It's the next generation that's going to make it happen, and he sees it just like we see it. We see the passion, and we see the interest, interest in getting involved. And we've had a lot of students, a lot of kids, a lot of the younger generation that has visited me up at the Capitol, more than I've seen last year, more than I've seen any other year. So it's something that's growing. But if you know, to your audience and people that are watching, get involved. Find ways to get involved. Find ways to be active. Your voice matters, and you'll find that there are more that share the same passion that you do. And that's how you unite on issues, on causes, and that's how you make things happen.
Absolutely. I think one of the most impressive things I find about you, following you on social media, and then knowing you as an individual in real life, which has been a great experience for me, because coming from where I'm coming from, I never thought that I would be able to call an assemblyman my friend. And me and my wife, we always have that running joke of, wow, look where we've come from to where we are now. So I always appreciate seeing you as busy as you are, whether it's scuba diving or whatever you're doing. But inside of and outside of all those things are all the other initiatives that you're really a part of. The Fighting for Autism. You have the ducks. What's
the duck derby we're doing? Yeah, we can talk about that in a little while.
So all these other different initiatives and things that you are a part of, and a lot of times I think because social media only shows so much, that a lot of times a lot of the work that you do doesn't really get shown. So I mean, really talk about some of the work and some of the initiatives that you're involved with.
Well, I think to your point, I've always been very active on social media because, you know, when I was first elected to office, this is a job that I really want to include everybody, and we try and get out in the community as much as we can. And when people see me, I encourage them to talk to me. I encourage them to. That's their time with me in the community. Not everybody can come to my office here in Schenectady. Not everybody can come to my office in Amsterdam. Not everybody can come up to the Capitol. Everybody's busy. They got their own families. So I do try to attend as many community events as I can. And the number one reason is to engage the public, to hear what's happening, what is important. That's where good legislation comes from. Those ideas come from the community. So it is so important for me to try and get to everywhere I can across the district. And this district covers, it goes across 3 counties. So it's a lot of traveling. And Nicole, who's off camera here, she will tell you how much traveling we do. But it's important to me. And I was a civil engineer. Out of high school, I joined the Army Reserves, and after that I wanted to be an engineer. So I went to school and I became an engineer, and I worked for about 15 years or so in the field. I gave that up to do this. This is my number one priority. My number one priority is the people I represent. And when I say it takes all day and it's still not enough time, I mean that. It really does. It takes up your entire day, and there's not enough time to really get everywhere. So what do? We turn to social media now. And I've been very active because it's another way to engage now. Maybe you can't make it, but you can send me you can use Messenger on Facebook. And a lot of people, a lot of constituent contacts, I got to tell you, come off of Facebook Messenger. And Nicole's watching; she'll tell you how many messages we get. So we get phone calls, we get voicemails, we get letters. We still get letters. We get emails. We get a lot of comments on Facebook. We get Twitter messages, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it. So that's important because people do want to know where you are. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know the events that you're engaged in. And that's important for me to share that information. So I make it a point to do that. And it's every single event we go to, every second of the day, we try and post as much as we can to let people know where we're going to be, where we've been, what we're fighting for. When I'm in session, I also give updates on what's happening up there. That's the important thing, is to keep the community engaged and let them know what's happening, so that if they have something to offer on that, I want to hear from you. And my policy is always, you know this well, my policy has always been, my door is always open for everybody. Mm-hmm. And it is. It doesn't matter if I'm at the office or not, wherever I am, the grocery store, out walking on the street here at Proctor's, wherever it is, my door is always open. And if you do see me and I'm around, please, stop and say hello and tell me what's on your mind. I want to hear. That's part of my job. It's what helps me be an effective legislator.
Yeah, and the thing I say to that is I know it's something that you live, and I know it's something that you do on a regular basis, because ever since my kind of first conversation with you, you've always stood by that, and I've always been able to engage you in general conversation anywhere we've been. Anytime I know you're at an event or I'm at an event and we're together, kind of throughout the room, I can kind of stop you and just, hey, how's things go? Just a regular and I appreciate that. And what I love about that is it's not only been just with me, but you've engaged my family. And now you've engaged the young people from my program. You invited them up to the assembly floor to receive certificates of participation for completing the Fresh Perspective Youth Mentorship Program. Shout out to my brother James D. Thomas Jr., the James D. Thomas Jr. Foundation, and Schenectady Branch Library, to invite our youth from our area up there to receive that with some of the kids who are here being a part of that. That was absolutely wonderful, because the smiles they had and just the pride they took in, that is something that they'll never forget. And the conversation I had with them about that was, understand, you guys belong in any room you go to. And it's not because of who you are, where you're from, because you guys are special. So always believe in yourself. So, on the way up there, a lot of them were super nervous and like, oh my gosh. And Compton had on this all white suit. And it was wonderful just to see them, kind of engage, and they're all talking to different people. So, I love opportunities like that. And I love that you engage with our youth so much. Another opportunity, I was just speaking with someone recently about this, was our second annual Random Santa Drop-Off.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Where we went door to door prior to Christmas, and we delivered Christmas trees and Christmas gifts and lights to 7 families throughout the city. And the impact that had, the look on people's faces when an assemblyman, a police chief, community leaders, and families from the community came to their door. And you actually, what a lot of people don't know that the cameras didn't show, was you actually put Christmas trees up in some houses.
That was a memorable experience. I really enjoyed that. And you're right, what you said is exactly right. People were surprised, shocked. Some people were in tears to see people just randomly going to doors and dropping off Christmas gifts, holiday gifts. It's just really an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience for me, and I look forward to doing it again. And this is what I'm talking about. This is you're also showing what can be done through kindness. That's a powerful example, and that is something we hope to see more of, and I know you're inspiring others to do that. And what you said with having the kids up there, that was an honor for me, and an honor for the entire body to have kids from the community come up And we hope to see more of that. I talk about my student cabinet program, and I will mention it here because this is a program that's been growing, and it goes along the lines of what you're saying, getting kids involved, making them part of the process. It's just what it's what it sounds like. It's a student cabinet. They tell me what's on their mind. They get to be up there and go through what we go through. I had students go through a hearing. We set up a hearing for them where they could hear from experts on education and come to their own conclusions on where they think funding should go. To make those decisions and to hear the kids give me feedback, just absolutely something that's very, very valuable to me to hear. We want to make their educational experience the best it can possibly be. You know how important it is when kids are going. These are the years that are shaping the rest of their lives. We want to make sure we're investing in the things that can improve that to give them a brighter future. So for those watching, I'm going to give a little plug here for my student cabinet. They can always visit my my website, and that's www.nyassembly.gov. They can find me under Assemblyman Santa Barbara. The application looks like this. There's two parts to it. On the angle here, okay. They can just fill this out. They can do it online. They can email it to me. But the important thing is, even if you're thinking about it, even if you don't know if you're going to have the time, send it in anyways. Send it in anyways so that opportunity is there for you. Yeah. And I hope this grows again. You know, it's 5 years now this has been going. And it's sort of a unique idea that I'm hoping everywhere across the state it will be adopted. To have different days where youth can go up there and they can participate in the legislative process or see what's happening firsthand. Have a seat right there to see what's happening. And I can tell you the students we engaged last year, just absolutely phenomenal. The ideas they came up with, they were right on with some of the things that should be happening with education. And as I said, we've made a lot of progress so far, but we have more to do, but we want to make sure everybody's involved in the decision making. And that's my job. My job is to engage the people I represent as much as I can. And the more we can do that, I think the more we will see that we are doing things in the community that really have a big impact for families, can really make a big, big difference. And some of these things are things that, when you talk about the things we do here in the community, it reflects on what we're trying to do up there, what we're trying to build, stronger communities. We're trying to invest in our neighborhoods. We're trying to make sure that we're building these stronger communities. We forge these relationships. You had law enforcement with you on a lot of these events. Even the Thanksgiving event that you had, the turkey dinner, people were delivering to doorsteps. So you have all parts of the community to be a part of these events. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring parts of the community in and have a good representation from every part of the community. It's very important that we do that, and it's very important that we continue to do that and set the example for the next generation. And you're making it happen here, Will. You're making it happen. And if you're out there, you want to be part of the student cabinet, Will tell you firsthand what it was like. There's a neat little video on my website that people can look up. There's applications. They can send me emails. They can ask questions. And people are always welcome to stop in my office. You know that. My door is always open. If people want to visit me up at the Capitol, we can get them up there. We can find out how to get them a ride, and we can have them come up to the Capitol as well.
And I think that's really a great opportunity because youth who become engaged in the government process end up being adults who want to be engaged in the government process. So for anybody who has a child who they think would be interested in this, please go to the Assemblyman's website and sign up. Let's get as many youth as possible engaged in this student cabinet. I think it's an absolutely amazing opportunity again for them to get a taste of something different and just really see the inner workings and just to share their experiences. I think as adults, we always think we have the answers or know what's best for our youth. But with the young people we have now, they have so much more in-depth knowledge and access to information. You never really know. A lot of them have much better ideas than we ever would. So, what other initiatives are you currently working on?
I don't know how much time we have left, but I do want to mention I got a couple other events happening. The summer reading program is just finishing up. So for those that did do it, they read through July and August. Don't forget to turn in your certificate, your completion form, and we're going to make sure we come out and recognize you with a Reading and Excellence Award from the State Assembly. Awesome. I make sure that goes out. I personally take charge of that program to make sure you get that award. So hopefully next time around we can come back on the show before next July and talk about the Summer Reading Challenge. A lot of kids participated. So I just want to remind your viewers to send it in, email it to me. Nicole, she's watching right there, so she'll make sure that gets out. And the other thing I want to mention is, we've seen some pretty nasty weather in the country, and we've seen our community come together in times of crisis. And the Red Cross has reached out to me, and they have an urgent need, an urgent demand. The blood supplies are very low right now, so they've reached out to partner with me on this event Saturday, October 7th. At the Viaport Mall in Rotterdam. We're doing a blood drive. It's going to be from 11 to 4. And I'm encouraging all those that can give blood to join me at this event. So I will be giving blood. We do it as much as we can. So I think that this is a way that our community can come together once again to help those in need. This is something that can help families, that can help in their relief efforts. The Red Cross has been a great organization. The Viaport Mall is on Campbell Road in Rotterdam, right where the aquarium is. So the event will be taking place there.
October 7th, come out and give some blood.
October 7th, save the date. And this is a way that we can, there's a lot of things coming, for hurricane relief, a lot of things happening. There's been a few events here at Proctor's. And people are reaching out to my office asking how they can help. I know there was a school drive.
Yes.
There was a couple of other things. And this is our time to be able to help. And when in times of crisis, we saw it in hurricanes in the past. We saw when it comes time to come together and make a difference, nobody can do it better than Schenectady here, and that's why I'm reaching out to everybody here to make this a success. This blood drive.
Absolutely. So if you want to take part and be able to assist some of those families that were affected by the hurricanes, you can see October 7th is a way to come out. Also, just kind of check online and pay attention to Facebook. I know there's a lot of hurricane relief supports going throughout the city. I believe Downtown Schenectady Improvement Corporation, I believe I heard that they may be doing something as well. So reach out, pay attention, get involved, get engaged, and at all times, be active. I think that's a good thing about where we're at kind of right now in Schenectady, is we've gotten to a place where we no longer want to make complaints. So you see a lot of people coming up with their own conclusions and their own answers to questions, and we're really out here just focusing on doing the work. As always, you're greatly appreciated. What else you got going on? I know you're busy.
We have a number of things. Those are the two things I wanted to hit on. But if people, I do encourage people to visit my website. As you can see, there's a number of tabs on here. We have a lot of autism legislation, as you know, is something that I'm very passionate about. We have a couple of pieces of legislation that I think are absolutely critical that I do need the public to come out and support. One of them involves training for our firefighters, our police officers, our first responders, when they're interacting with those that have autism or related disorders, to have some education on that, to provide that training for these officers. Very, very critical. The latest numbers, 1 in 45 boys are diagnosed with autism in the United States of America. So at some point, we're going to see 1 in 45 adults. And our job is to try and have a path towards independence. That includes having a job, that includes driving a car, that includes engaging the community at whatever level people can, but it also means that the chances of law enforcement, first responders interacting becomes greater. So this training has become a significant need now. It's something that we're seeing more and more officers are asking for this, and I have a bill that does just that. Awesome. Bill that we are hoping to pass in the Assembly. We've tried to pass it for a few years now, and this year we hope to get more of the public engaged on this, so that when we get back to session in January, it can be a top priority. And let's provide the training. People are asking for it, and people may not know the signs of autism. And it's very easy to see situations that are absolutely harmless, that can escalate for reasons that can be resolved through this legislation.
And I think that's absolutely amazing that you've taken something so near and dear to kind of your heart, and you've actually gone to challenge New York State to bring that into legislation. And I think that's really the key to what we're trying to pass to our community members, is to understand that if you have something, an idea, or a passion, and something that drives you, there are ways to make it real. So I've been impressed in watching you really push that initiative and really challenge that and continue to follow through with that. So tell us about
if you go on my website, you will find the Autism Action NY tab down here. There's a little video that explains it and some information. You can sign up to support these bills. So it's very user-friendly. It just takes a few seconds to do it. I see Nicole flashing the duck over there because the duck race. We got to talk about the duck race. So
I want to hear about the ducks.
That's on October 7th. So October 7th, what time is that, Nicole? 11 to 2. So we did this last year for the first time. So this is a great family-friendly event. We dropped, I believe, 2,000 ducks, rubber ducks, into the Mohawk River last year, and it's a race. And there's all sorts of prizes and all sorts of fun watching these ducks race. And you can adopt these ducks through the Autism Society of the
Now, they're rubber ducks, right? Not real ducks?
They're rubber ducks. No.
Rubber ducks.
You know, somebody did ask me that question. We're not dropping real ducks. No. But this year, 10,000 ducks.
Oh, man.
10,000 ducks will be dropped. It's an event that starts at 11. So at noon, we're going to drop the ducks and the race is on. But in the meantime, it's our Autism Action Day. I have an Autism Action Day up at the Capitol. This is our Autism Action Day here in the community. As I said, sometimes people can't make it up to the Capitol.
Yeah.
They can't be there. But I want to make sure everybody has a chance to be involved. We talk about the legislation, the Autism Action New York package. We talk about the bills. We have vendors. There's food. There's a band that's going to be playing. The Autism Society will be there with all information. My office will be there with resources, information that people can sign up for. And the main thing is that we talk about the challenges. And this is true with anything. It's true with the autism families, but it's true with disability. There's 128,000 New Yorkers with developmental disabilities. We all have similar challenges when we talk about these individuals and their families. And it's important that we have time to share what those challenges are, and that's how we're going to overcome. That's how we're going to overcome these challenges. And I see it with my son. My son was diagnosed when he was 3 years old. He's 15 now. And we're seeing the same challenges as he becomes a teenager, and we have the same things in our mind. And we are trying to, in creating this Autism Action package, it's taking the awareness. We've built up so much awareness, and we're turning it into action. We're doing something about it now. So this is something that we are going to keep going. We're going to keep having these events every year. We're going to continue to involve more families and talk about how we can help through funding and through meaningful legislation that can improve the lives of people living with developmental disabilities. And it comes in many different forms, Will. So we talked about the training for police officers.
Yes.
We have, we have Puzzles Bakery across the street.
Yep.
Sarah May Pratt is doing a wonderful job there, giving employment opportunities to those with disabilities. We have the Liberty Fresh Market in Amsterdam. Same goal. So we're seeing more opportunity now than ever before. We're seeing students in colleges get engaged through the CREATE program. The CREATE program that uses technology to make jobs accessible to more people than they've ever been. So we're seeing students, and you talk about the youth getting involved. They are getting involved. This is something very important. 128,000 in New York alone. That's a significant number.
Absolutely.
And their families. So that's what Autism Action New York is about. I created this package 5 years ago when I got into the assembly to encourage people. And a lot of the bills come from the community. There's a bill that talks about guidance counselors, the transition for kids that are going from the middle school to the high school, or going from the high school on to employment or to college. There's a bill that talks about a college program, a college pathway. Something that we haven't seen before.
Right.
So these are bills that come from the community, and I encourage people, again, whatever way they choose to contact me, whether it's Facebook, whether it's stopping into my office, having the conversation. I want to know what the challenges are. I want to know what they are. We will look for a solution. We will find a way to overcome these challenges, and we can only do it together. And sometimes it's hard to share. It's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about the challenges. These are things that are not easy to talk about, but you will find that you are not alone. You will find that there are many other families out there that are sharing the same experience, including my family. So that's something that's very near and dear to my heart, something that I will keep fighting for. we do need people that are going to champion this type of legislation. That are going to be a voice for a lot of people like my son that can't speak, that doesn't have a voice.
Right.
You can't speak. You can't speak. We have to represent and step up for people that cannot advocate for themselves. We have to be their advocate. We have to be their champion. And I'm encouraging everyone that's elected in office to take a look at this package and consider supporting it.
Absolutely. Well, we've had an absolutely wonderful show here with Assemblyman Angelo Santabarbara. Be active, be engaged. Reach out to the Assemblyman if you have any questions or you want to be involved in anything. We thank you very, very much for tuning in to this week's episode of Save Our Streets TV, and we'll see you again next episode.
All right, we're going to end with our selfie, right?
Yep. Come on, JJ, hurry up.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We're going to end with our famous selfie. This will be on Twitter for those watching. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.